All right, guys, here we are for another episode of Lemony Snicket, Series of Unfortunate Events, the Netflix original series. We're on episode 6 of season 1, and it's still chugging along.
It's chugging along indeed, Diane.
Yeah. I didn't dislike this episode. I thought it had some humor in it.
No, yeah, there was something funny. I'm scanning my notes because something made me laugh, like a lot. And I was like, I'm gonna write that down, talk about it, and I can't find it now. And I watched this too long ago.
I was glad that we got to see the leeches.
Yes.
I was like afraid we'd somehow not see them ever and just hear these talk about it. But
or
now,
just like churning water and the leeches got them, I guess, and all that shit. Yeah.
But after seeing them and realizing they're like the alien worm from like Star Wars, you're like, I can totally see how these would kill a human.
No, that's kind of what I was picturing, was that sort of thing. I didn't picture like they're like star-nosed moles, but they can burrow through the boat and all that stuff. All this weirdnesses. Yeah.
They burrowed through the boat, like, instantaneously. Like, it was no issue at all. And it makes me wonder, like, is metal that much safer? If they can rip through wood that easily.
No, and that whole thing,
you'd think over time they would get through the metal.
I give it to them because it's like a kid show, but that whole thing was like, like, we're attacked. We are in this much danger, and that will never change until the very last minute. And then we're in all of a sudden, okay, but we're fine. And I was like,
well, because the amount of holes of leeches that burst through the bottom of that boat, it should have sank relatively instantly.
It would be like dropping a cheese grater into a bathtub. It would just go.
Yeah. I was like, what is he going for there? Does he think the cheese grater would cut through the tub?
Oh, you can't fight leeches with cheese graters. They're not cheese.
Yeah. In your analogy, the cheese grater was the boat. Yes. I was thinking that the boat was the tub. Because it's boat shaped.
We should cut to a shot of the cheese grater falling into the sink. We'll do a pickup later. We'll not just cut it in right here.
What do you call it? What's the guy's name? The accountant dude.
Poe.
Poe was particularly funny, I thought, in this episode.
Did you say something funny?
It was just that, like, every time it's him, like, repeating verbatim what the kids have said. What was your thing?
We'll get to it.
Now I'm very curious.
Okay.
I want to know now.
It's when he has the coughing fit.
Okay. Oh, he coughs into NPH's mouth?
Into his mouth. He goes... It just like turns his head all weird. I had to pause it. I was laughing so much. I laughed so much. Because he has this like tuberculosis death cough. And NPH is like, disgusting all the time. This is gross children or whatever.
So their college fund, can that be spent on, say, diamond cufflinks?
So not on a bunch of diamond cufflinks? And he's like, no.
No? Okay.
Just asking. Just establishing the parameters. No, his whole fucking stupid thing is great.
I like the sea captain.
Sea captain's
I would like more of the sea captain, I think. But, we're not, that's
over.
The nature of the show. We'll never get the characters again.
Yeah.
Honestly, most of the characters that aren't Olaf wasn't that good for me. Everything else I think I like.
I know. That's what I mean. Like, again, I go back to, at first we're like, I don't know about this show. What the fuck? And now we're kind of like, no, it's just like, this is this show.
Yeah. No, like
the establishment of it was not as good as now.
Just put NPH in like a sitcom where he plays every character, and I think that could be funny.
Being NPH.
I like when the guy's like, well, cut off your hands, and he shows up his hands. I'm like, I wonder if he did fuck up one day and NPH cut off his hands.
Oh, no.
Because increasingly you're seeing that he's actually like a real evil dude who actually does shit. Because in the beginning it was like, oh, all right, he's a bad guy, but like, he's murdered people like in front of you now. So it's a big difference, like off-screen killing versus on-screen killing. That's like where you do a turning point of like, is this a kid show anymore?
I know.
He threw her to leeches.
Yeah.
Like boat boring leeches. Like that's a hardcore
Not
concept.
a good way to die.
It wasn't in front of us, but Monty was dead right in front of us. Like they're pushing a little the G boundary here.
That was my main comment with the Monty death, because like it isn't just like he slumped over and you're like, wake up! Oh no, he's dead. Like his
eyes glass.
He's all fucked up and stuff. He's got like the weird plague vein, thing that they do, and they hang on his face for a long time. He's like,
well, because it looked good. They didn't want to waste it.
I know, but as a kid, I'd be like, that's just a dead person. Nothing fun about this.
Except for the fact that he's a fun dead person.
That mustache, for days.
Mustachio. Bring Monty back. Bring back Monty.
I think he's not really dead. He's totally.
I was hoping you were going to elaborate, like...
Does anyone really die on this show? No, because the angle of the thing and in the body bag, you see, there's a reference, because that was the same number that was on his luggage. So that's obviously part of his plan. He's totally dead. I
like when the baby gets fed up and just bites his leg off.
Yeah.
And then his leg just drops down. Like, it was just, like, so easy. It wasn't taped at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a little...
He, like, said something like, oh!
My leg! It's a miracle!
Right? Like, and, like... Poe, okay, You could have played it two ways, where like Poe knows and then just weird or something like that or whatever, and it's like too bad, or he like still doesn't know every time, and it's like what the fuck is that? But they're doing this very nice, and I've made comparisons like James and the Giant Peach and like Tim Burton and stuff, or like The Witches that turn the kids into mice. Like there are certain kids movies that are dark, and like the other characters like they go, oh shit, it's a gargoyle, like they actually like respond properly, and he's doing that, I think, where he's funny and he's like, I only care about myself and like adult things and your children, so shut up. And then it's like, wait a minute, no, you're this guy, what the fuck? And then he's like incompetent and shitty, but he's not like weirdly like he's weirdly oblivious in like the real world, but in this comedic sense, his obliviousness is balanced by this like, and this time, oh fuck, not again, something like that. It's this whole thing. I don't know. Inspector Gadget.
Children.
I like how they both left, and he's just this like,
Yeah, that's like a Scooby-Doo thing. Like, let me talk long and dramatically to myself over here, and then everything happens.
And then turn around. Oh, God. They're gone, aren't they?
Oh, the great Don Knotts could have been in this movie.
Looking for his bullet.
He's dead.
What?
He died in like 2005.
Don't bring the room down. What is this?
Nah, I was celebrating his life. I wasn't down on the death. What else happens? So like the whole filling of the paperwork is funny. They call back on the peppermint allergy, and you see what actually happens when they take the allergy. I was hoping that Poe would realize that like, hi, I gave you peppermint, like at some point, but he didn't. He did call back to his second favorite candy, peppermint. Did he ever say his most favorite candy?
Little things like that are what I really appreciate in this sort of like irreverent sort of comedy, where he keeps and like every time he says the exact same words, and it's this repetition joke or whatever.
I'm sure that's in the book.
Well, yeah. All the good things that aren't references to digital distribution are definitely in the book or whatever. Good, like, writing type stuff. The grammar stuff comes back. They do the whole, like, note. I wonder if the book is like a fucking, like here's the note. Figure it out or whatever. And you can, like, do shit
100%
like
no.
that. I would like that. That would be nice.
That's what makes me 100% sure that it's not real. Because you would like it.
Oh.
And anything you'd like can't exist.
Anything you would like isn't real.
It's true. It's
been true my whole life.
Yeah.
I wrote down at one point, I hate the baby. I don't know why I wrote that.
There was one janky scene. Would you say there was a scene that stuck out for you as like, did that work?
Not the way you're phrasing it, so you just fire off and then let me know.
There's a part where the hurricane is in like mid-stride and the house breaks in half, and Klaus is like the angles and the weirdness of flinging there, like where he's like the house tips, he slides, he like gets flung, hangs on like a carpet, comes back in, like it was just very weird, and like it like, you know, it didn't like pull me out of it, like this can't possibly work, but it was because everything else is done pretty well, that really jumped out at me as like, what was that scene?
Yes,
it was very weird.
I wrote down, note, curdled cave, peppermints, house starts doing stuff, ... Like, what is happening? Because they do, like, a thing where it's the wind at one point, and at some other points, just, like, whatever, and he's, like, a parkour guy or something like that, and I'm like, this is it. And then they're like, oh, and, like, run. I'm like, that's weirdly out of place. I didn't really enjoy that. That didn't really add anything to me.
And then the whole,
like, call back to that?
Not only, like, so the part hanging off the house, off the cliff, made sense for me to fall, but then, like, I guess the cliff broke and the rest of the house fell into, like, because it lost everything but the welcome mat.
The first part of the house dragged the other part of the house down with it.
But it didn't, did it? Like,
kind of close to it. I think the corner.
It was attached by like the smallest. I guess that could happen, but it.
That would
there
have been,
wasn't earth below it either.
That would have been great if she made a comment about having this like unusually strong rug that went through like from like stem to stern of the house, and when that part fell, it would and just pulled the whole rest of the house down.
It would have to be tacked to the ground.
Yeah.
Had those anti-friction slip pads. Those are pretty strong.
Double-sided tape on the bottom. But that's the whole thing with that shit. Something else funny. It's like, yes, no. Captain Sham, he called me accidentally trying to reach a knife store.
Yeah, for a gift for some kids.
For some kids he had just met or something like that. Anyway, more of that Poe fucking stuff. I don't know. Things like that.
I met her 7 years ago. We saw that picture, which showed, like, you know, all the characters thus far, and one lady that we haven't met before.
Oh.
And she's the one that's married. She's the what the hell's her name? She's the wife in Beetlejuice. What's that girl's name?
What?
You know her name?
I do.
But
Like
it looks
the
like,
wife?
and if unless I'm mistaken, she is the next relative they're going to be going to.
I was gonna make a joke that it was the entire cast of like A Mighty Wind or something like that. That's what that kind of picture looks like
Yeah,
to me.
kind of.
Because one had like a Eugene Levy thing going on, but it's like the mom in Beetlejuice. Like he
Yeah.
likes it. Look at my art. That mom,
I believe so.
awesome. I like her.
Yeah.
She's deranged as fuck.
She's married to somebody famous.
I think one of the people in that crew, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to picture which one. I can interchange a couple of
Not
like
the child
faces.
molester guy, right? The other guy.
Oh no! I don't think it's a child molester.
Not the bad guy from Howard the Duck.
I will kill you. No.
Yeah.
It's like Eugene Levy. That's not Eugene Levy. It's like
One of the
his
guys
buddy or
is
whatever.
Eugene Levy.
Yeah, but it's not him who's married to her. Regardless,
The
moving
Spinal
on
Tap
to
guy.
things that I don't know anything about. From
So,
things I don't know anything about.
One of the other things, I wouldn't call it janky, but it was just like it was like a lowbrow thing for this thing or whatever. Is when like the parents show up in the plane and exactly move the beam in and all that stuff. And like
Yeah.
I'm not pissed off because like how could that possibly happen? Because the show's like ridiculous.
It's so fantastical
You
that
know.
I'm like, of course that happened.
Right, but it was still this thing of like not
Yeah.
as if you're gonna do things like how could that possibly happen? It needs to be like whoa, not
If you're
like,
going to allow the idea that they're refracting light from a fucking lighthouse
yeah.
that's purple to start a fire anyway, I have no problem with how it happened.
Sure.
No, it felt like one of the most Mighty Boosh things though that we've seen.
Yeah, no, like in like a different toned thing that would fit in perfectly. I
Mhm.
just thought it was a little like out of sync, but that's fine. So the parents are there. We've established they've made it in the plane ride, and they're going down, and they're
Yeah.
gonna probably meet up with them at the lumber mill or something. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Sure, they're out of Peru, they're back in America, and they're all headed probably to what's it called, Sweet Smell Lumber Yard or something.
Some fucking.
Sweet scent, sense of smell.
All I wrote was back of truck to lumber mill.
Yeah, has a 1950s vibe. Seems good.
All right, what else happened?
Trying to think, like-
the leeches. I wrote down the word obviously and then stopped writing. So that's a good note. Something happened that was super
was-
obvious, apparently.
Obvious.
Obviously, and then I was just like, I'm distracted or something. I must have gotten a text massage. I liked that when they go to the cave, she's like, "We can live in the cave," whatever. It's
Yeah.
like, and they're like,
I also like the callback of it's for sale. That means
I know.
realtors will come here.
Yes.
Let's leave.
the real estate agent,
Yeah.
her weird phobia of real estate agents and whatever.
Very,
the fuck.
very strange.
Next to like the grammar thing, I wrote hate this.
Yeah, I wasn't a
That's
big fan
cool.
of that because that's a lot of like,
Didn't
what if they
catch
just
that
didn't catch
before.
all of those problems there and just, it's,
I-
it's a suicide note. What if they were just like overcome with grief and didn't read into it at all?
Yeah. Oh, and God, oh my God, oh God, the other best thing ever is like she's like, I'm gonna fake my own death, and she did push the statue out of the window,
But then
and
she jumped.
then immediately jumped through the hole, and then was like right below it, even though she literally fucking like
Tanked out.
like tumbling like circus person jumped
Yeah.
out of the hole, and I was like, and like that she was like, what? Like that was amazing to me. I love shit like
I
that.
really liked Patrick Warburton in this episode,
Patrick Warburton.
where he's like, oh, let me talk, and then he gets below the table and he talks more.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was hilarious.
No, that shit like that is super great. That's more of that stuff where he's like there, but he's not there, and he's telling the story.
Yeah.
Because they had to show the kids handing off the peppermints for no reason. But then like that was a cool fucking shit like that. That's why we have cameras and we like film stuff instead of just like.
And the story that Poe is talking, he's like, let me tell you about the time I bought milk, and it fades out, but he's talking, and I'm
Yes.
like trying to hear what he could say.
I like gave it up, but yes, no, that's fake my own death. Real estate agents, your parents wanted. Okay, so real quick, just to
Sure.
like wrap everything up.
What do you got?
So there's this running thread now. There's some more stuff getting sprinkled in about the like we are a secret society of spies or whatever, right? And she apparently lost it all when her husband, when Ike was
murdered.
was killed. But like before that, she was all about the whatever the fucks. And I'm glad you said murdered because like they just said
They find out that Olaf
Yeah.
fed him those chimichangas or whatever.
literally after all the shredded beef tamales I served your husband. And she's like, or whatever the fuck. And I'm like, aha. But like, he should still know how long you have to wait. That's weird. But still, it was great.
Yeah.
And like, is he so is he like, they have this, like, the tattoo is the same symbol. Is he like a dishonored member of this Assassin's Guild faction thing? Right?
My thought is, it's
What's
like,
happening here?
it's the family's, like, a heritage of being, like, super spies or whatever. He's part of the family, so he got it. and then he's just bad. So yeah, he's just
something must have happened to him though. I took the picture. They're in the piano. That whole thing. What's going on? Did they fuck with him when he was a kid? I'll get you, and I'll swear to bring you down, and I'll use my weird talent, which is acting.
And while he's not a good actor, he's a decent actor. Like,
yeah.
He can't act in a play, but he can act fine when he's trying to scam you.
That's what's wonderful about him. And also, like, he's fucking up and all that stuff, but he's fighting against, like, super babies. So, like, I understand that. I think, like, a normal person would in fact have been murdered or married or whatever else he tried to do to them.
Sure. It speaks for itself, the amount of people he's killed.
That's true. He's like the path of destruction in his wake.
He's
perfect.
He's wiped out whole sections of the family. And they all have different last names, and I think they were all the last of their kind. So, yeah, he's actually wiping them from the earth.
No, and, like, I don't know in what sense they are a family, though.
Well,
because they can't all literally be related. They're married to, like, other people. Like, who's related to who? Was Ike someone's cousin?
My thought is that Ike
here?
was related to them by blood.
Right. Yeah.
And then you had, who's the other person? Monty was probably, his wife was probably blood, and so on and so forth.
A lot of dead wives around here.
Well, path of destruction.
So it's a hard knock life being a Lemony Snicket spy.
It's true.
All right, I'm interested to finally find out what the fuck they're...
Yeah, we got 2 episodes left, and then we'll know it all.
I want to know what the name of the secret society is. I want them to drop that.
The Eye.
I want to be like, welcome to the Order of the Hidden Eye, right? The Eye.
Yeah.
I want them to be like, or like, this is all a test, and Monty's alive, and Olaf's like, ha-ha, and they're all just like, you passed, come on. It's fine.
That would be amazing.
It totally can't be that for so many reasons, but if it was that, yes, I would love that so much.
Yeah, that would be that. I love in movies though when like a twist does happen like that, and you're like, that's not possible based on other things that happened.
They were talking when they weren't around about how he was going to kill him. Why would they do that? That's great. Yeah, I know. I know. It doesn't make any sense.
No, that's certainly not going to happen. But I would love it because it would set up all kinds of cool things.
Dope as fuck.
Yeah,
and the real enemy is the people from the Kingsman.
Well, we're gonna find the real enemy, I'm sure, in like the last
end of
episode
the season,
because there's going to be another season.
Yeah.
And that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I really hope it's not just like, I'll get you kids again more later, and like nothing changes. They have to shake it up in some way, right?
Something. I want to see them start doing missions, I think.
Ooh.
I want Kobe Smulders and Will Arnett to be a bigger part. I want them to like actually be doing family spy kid mission things.
I wonder if they will be a part.
I don't know. Do you think they filmed all their stuff in like a day? And
that's been our like conceit this whole time, just because of how they never interact with any other characters. I'm sure they will at some point, but I think like the haircuts will be a little off or something like that, and they'll just be like, and like season 2, we'll be like, kids, we have to go on a mission. You're on your own, and then they'll leave again, and then we'll have the exact and then it'll be like knock knock knock, milkman. You're not a milkman. You count all off, and then it'll just be the exact same fucking thing.
Well, maybe the parents go on a mission and like it's like there's something happened.
Yeah.
Your parents need help.
Oh yeah. No. If I had to like really predict, I would say that's probably it, and it's like Inspector Gadget formula. You gotta do the.
Well, we'll make more educated guesses as we get closer to the end. I think that's pretty much everything that happened in this episode.
I've crossed out every line of my notes.
Yeah. All right. So that's episode 6. We got 2 more. Join us for those. We'll see you next time. Don't die in a fire.